What's going on, everybody? My name is Jake and welcome back to more Pokemon Emerald post-game. In the last episode, we went and caught my favorite legendary Rayquaza up at the top of Sky Pillar. We caught it in the Master Ball because I wasn't taking any chances with losing out on my favorite legendary. And I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But in this part, we're going to be going and catching one of his counterparts in Groudon. So we are here in Fortress City because what we want to do is head to the Weather Institute, because you can talk to a guy who studies weather routes or weather patterns, and he'll explain a strange weather phenomenon going on at one of the routes in Hoenn that indicates there could be something spectacular around that area. So I'm going to head in here and up this way. I track weather patterns all over the Hoenn region. Presently, heavy rainfall has been recorded over Route 105. Could that mean somewhere near Route 105? So never mind, we're not catching Groudon. We're catching Kyogre. I thought it started with Groudon every time, but I am sorely mistaken. So anyway, we're not going to be catching Groudon. We're going to be catching Kyogre, and that's totally fine. I have no preference in the order of which we catch these. So let's go ahead and fly to Route 105, which is... oh, shit, that means we're gonna have to freaking take out Tentacool from the PC, because if I remember correctly, you have to have Dive in order to get to Kyogre. So anyway, we're gonna be catching Kyogre, not Groudon in this part. And yeah, so when we caught Rayquaza, I definitely went into it a little bit underprepared as far as the quality of my items. Obviously, I had the Master Ball, but I just had a bunch of Pokeballs and Ultra Balls, which I guess I don't really know how else you'd be better prepared, but there was a comment that said I basically need to get more Timer Balls. And you can get Timer Balls by going back to Rustboro City and in front of the Rust Turf Tunnel. The Devon worker will compliment you on how awesome you are and then give you a repeat ball as a souvenir. And then we'll say that Pokemon Mart is selling their new products, which is a Timer Ball and Repeat Ball. Repeat Ball makes it easier to catch Pokemon you've previously caught before. And then the Timer Ball makes it so that battles that taking longer and after each successive turn. I don't know if it ever caps out its catch rate, but it increases the catch chance after each turn that goes by in a battle. So, as you see there, I have 20 of those bad boys. They're $1,000 each in the Pokemon Mart, which is a little bit expensive, but definitely more useful for catching legendaries. But let me just say this. I went into that with Rayquaza very cautious because it is my favorite legendary, and I don't think I've ever battled any of these people out here, come to think of it. So I was going to be full willing to throw the Master Ball at it and just call it good. And I know that's a little bit boring, whatever. But yeah, I just wasn't going to take any chances. I think that's the dive pattern out there we need to go to. I don't know if I battled any of these people, so I'm going to try to avoid them as best as I can. Okay, now we're on Route 104. If I'm not mistaken, you have to find somewhere where you have to dive into, and then you can go towards a cave entrance. So yes, I went into the Rayquaza one without Timer Balls, and just thinking that I was going to throw a bunch of Pokeballs at it and try to catch it, because that's how I've always tried to catch legendaries ever since I was little playing these games. I just think it's funny trying to catch these all-powerful, godlike beings in Pokeballs. Yeah, I definitely have never battled these people out here, so maybe I could do this for off-screen training for the Battle Frontier. And okay, we're getting an NPC trainer battle with Rayquaza at the front. So I think Rayquaza at the front. So yeah. And something about me, I've said it before in previous playthroughs, but I kind of approach things where I give myself one shot at something, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Be that boss battles that you only have one shot at doing, or Pokemon encounters that you only have one shot at doing. I'll make exceptions to that here and there, but for the most part, I try to have one go at things. And yeah, something I've always done. Just a challenge to myself. I know it's not exactly the smartest thing ever, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to complete my Pokedex, so if I fail to catch certain Pokemon, it is what it is. Like, you can go back and watch my Crystal LP, and I failed to catch Suicune because I ran out of freaking balls to throw at it. In hindsight, I probably should have just gave myself an extra try at that, but it is what it is. Anyway, I go into saying that because I had a comment in the last video that, I'm not going to lie to you, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, just the way it was worded, because it was like you kind of just wrote off what happened the rest of the video, and because I didn't go into it like the best strategy. And I just kind of want to say this. I don't want to contradict myself by saying I don't want comments and tips and support. I love all the tips and support, especially a game like this where I'm not super familiar with the post game. So I'm not going to sit here and say don't leave comments. That's not the point of it. But look at it like this. From a creator standpoint, I'm trying to make the most entertaining outcome for myself and for viewers as possible. Especially as a smaller channel, I'm really looking for memorable outcomes that leave stamps and impacts on these LPs that we can look back on, you know, if the channel continues to grow or whatever. Look back on and be like, man, that was an awesome moment in that LP. I'll kind of continue what I'm talking about here in a second, but here's our boy Kyogre. Kyogre's got a badass cry. Kyogre's definitely... The legendaries here in Hoenn are so awesome. It's kind of hard to pick between the three. I mean, obviously Rayquaza is my favorite, but Groudon and Kyogre are way up there. So yeah, here we go. We're going to take on Kyogre. And yeah, let's see how much of a pain in the ass this thing is to catch. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm trying to get the most entertaining outcomes possible with some of these. So that's why, like, for example, when I had Rayquaza paralyzed with full health, which, speaking of, I need to buy a turn here. So sorry, little Tentacruel, but I need to get my Manectric out here, and I don't want to take the chance that faints. So yeah, you're going to have to eat a Hydro Pump from this legendary being. Even though it's not very effective, you're done, but thank you for your service. So yeah, I throw the Pokeball at Rayquaza with full health. It is paralyzed because, like, I know the odds of that catching is slim to none, but could you just imagine the reaction that you'd get out of me if it would have worked out? I would have been going ballistic, just out of my mind, in awe of what happened. And that's kind of my goal with some of these. I'm not looking to be like a strategic walkthrough player that knows everything about these games and knows the best strategies for everything. Like, obviously, I have good knowledge of these games I'm playing, of Pokemon in general, but at the end of the day, I'm just playing these games trying to have as much fun as possible and try to put out an entertaining product. I understand that the premise of me throwing 99 Pokeballs at a legendary and the chance of me catching them very slim might not sound fun on the surface, but I would cut away most of those attempts and, you know, show the last 2 or 3 until we finally catch the damn thing. And then my reaction after. Again, I threw the Master Ball at Rayquaza just because it's my favorite legendary and I didn't want to chance it. So that is what it is. But yeah, like, I'm just looking for something fun and memorable to happen. And if that means throwing Pokeballs at legendaries, like I'm going to throw one right now. Full health, sleeping Kyogre in a Pokeball. Again, I know the chances are slim to none, but just, I got one shake. That's better than probably anyone is expecting. So, but just imagine the reaction and the memorable moment that would come from that if that would have worked out. So yes, I know timer balls make catching legendaries easy, or not easy, but easier. And I know they're the best strategy to use, but I'm just asking, like, try to look at it from my perspective as someone creating content and trying to make an entertaining product. Like, I'm just gonna do what I've done my entire life playing these games and what I find fun and, you know, challenges to myself. So I know, like, the comment came from like a place of, you know, genuine you know, probably trying to help me out and give me tips and everything, but I hope you kind of understand that maybe didn't really come across the best, because it's like you watch the video for 1 minute and then instead of seeing it through to see what the outcome was, see if something funny happened or anything, you know, you just comment and kind of like bash my strategy. Like, I get it wasn't a good strategy, but I wasn't really thinking about that. So at the same time, I'm going to heed your advice and take the tips when I get them, and I appreciate the support and whatever I get. So again, I'm not trying to contradict myself and say don't comment, but just try to look at it from my perspective that I just gave. That it's from like a creative standpoint first, trying to be, you know, have fun outcomes and something memorable that we can look back on and laugh at. So like I said, I know strategically it's best to go in it with 20,000 timer balls, because again, they increase your chances of catching them after each turn. But you know, I'm not really focused on the best strategy. I'm just trying to have the, Jesus Christ, that is way too freaking close to being taken out. But yeah, I'm just trying to look for the fun outcomes and the memorable moments here. So, and again, even if I got into a point where I have to throw 90 Pokeballs, I'll make a cut in the video and bring it back to, you know, the final few throws until we catch the thing. And again, if that's still not for you, I mean, obviously I don't want you to not watch, but you can also just fast forward to the end to see how we catch it. So hope that all makes sense, kind of explaining how I've always caught legendaries and how I look at it. Just trying to, I don't know, just make it fun for myself, really. So again, don't feel like you can't comment and give, you know, tips or constructive criticism, but also try to look at it from my perspective here as a creator. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to speak on that. So anyway, with all that being said, let's continue to try to catch this damn thing. I was really hoping it didn't use rest there when it was at low health and was paralyzed. That would have been the perfect time to try to catch it, but yeah, I mean, I've got, Jesus, that was just the base damage. I'm not going to let Rayquaza fall here. Let's go ahead and heal. I don't think Hydro Pump has a ton of PP, but not taking any chances here with my boy. My only fear now is that it fucking uses Double Edge and takes itself out, but brought itself into the red area, which is good. Throw a couple balls here and then maybe try bring back Magnetric for a Thunder Wave or static purposes. Or if I can just catch it, that'd be awesome. Nope. Sheer Cold is a one-hit KO move. If you remember, Glacia used it on it, or maybe it was Wallace. I can't remember who in the Elite Four used it on us and they hit on the first freaking attempt, even though it's a 30% accurate move. Okay, can you stop using that move? Because I'm really scared you're going to freaking take yourself out. Gosh, damn. If I'd have known it would have been using Double Edge, I would have had Magnetric out there just for the static chance. Yeah, I have noticed that in fighting these legendaries, both in this playthrough and in the past, that the AI does recognize when it's at low HP, it will heal. So, kind of makes it a little less terrifying. But I'll probably keep recording here up until, you know, close to 20 minutes or so, and then I'll cut away to where we finally catch the thing. Let's try the dive ball. It works better for Pokemon on the ocean floor. It kind of fits, right? Come on, you like it. You love it. 1, 2, holy shit. Oh. Well, that was our first multi-shake attempt, so that's good. We're making progress. Alright. Let me go ahead. Let's just switch to Camerupt, even though this is an absolutely horrendous matchup for Camerupt. Double Edge. I thought maybe we'd survive that, but nope. Go Hariyama. And then I'm going to use your turn. I'm guessing Kyogre's probably going to rest, so I think this would be a good time to bring back my Netric just so that we have a paralysis chance. He's going for Sheer Cold. Okay, so we'll get to use a turn here to throw a ball at it with red health. Pokeball! Rats. And there it uses rest. Alright. I anticipate it's going to use Double Edge when it comes back. Let me switch to my Netric. Yeah, that's going to use Sheer Cold and it'll freaking hit us. Fortunately, you can't have multiple status inflictions at once, so I cannot have it asleep and paralyzed. One. Ah. Timer Ball full health got the one shake, but we need 3 and then a click. I'm gonna throw a few more here and then probably cut away until I finally, and again I'll show like the last 2 or 3 balls that we throw till we catch it, or we can catch it right here, full health. Holy shit, no way! Okay. Never mind, no cuts, baby. Let's go. Sea Base and Pokemon Kyogre just needed a nap to be caught in an Ultra Ball. Kyogre has appeared in mythology as the creator of the sea. After long years of feuding with Groudon, it took to sleep at the bottom of the sea. I'm not going to give a nickname to it, but I am going to put it in the party. Let's go, baby. Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, full health. I know we're using an Ultra Ball, but like, and it's asleep, so we had some favorable outcomes there. But like, I don't know. I'm just looking for fun, memorable outcomes, and that to me, that's pretty fun. So, massive downpour appears to have stopped, even though it's still raining. Let's go ahead and fly back to Fortree City. Or not, I accidentally flew to Lily Cove. But at least we'll hear some nice music. Alright, let's fly to Fortree. Oh, let's go, man. Alright. And I'm going to box my Netric just because now that we are going to be able to catch Groudon, we can't even use Thunder Wave on Groudon because it's ground type, so let's go ahead and box my Netric and pull out Kyogre, just because why not have 2 of the 3 main legendaries here in Hoenn on in our party. I guess I could have just kept my Netric in there and boxed Tentacool, but there we go, Kyogre. Let's take a quick look at him real quick. And then I'm not going to go and catch Groudon in this part, but we'll see what route we need to go to and fly there and kind of post up for the next part. Kyogre. The hasty nature, as you see there, it's got incredible special attack and special defense. That's why Fly was doing a pretty good amount of damage there, because its defense is definitely its worst stat. Yeah, Rayquaza pretty much outclasses it everywhere except for special defense. Oh, actually Kyogre has slightly higher special attack, so there you go. But yeah, the Sea Basin Pokemon, the legendary water type, and we caught it at full health. That was freaking awesome. Alright. Now with that, let's go ahead and head out to the Weather Institute one more time. and see where we can find our boy Groudon. I track weather patterns over the Hoenn region. Presently, a Drowsma recorder on Route 116. Could that mean somewhere near Route 116? ... What could that possibly mean? Let's go ahead and leave. We cannot freaking run in this damn place, which is so annoying. But I guess we're following the old school rules of not running indoors, so always listen to that, kids. Alright, let's go ahead and fly. Route 116 is... yeah. Fly here. Get more pleasant music in Verdant Turf. We want to slap on and repel. And I think we got a lot of Pokeballs and shit left. I mean, we caught Kyogre pretty easily there. Let's go ahead. So as you see here, it's got the super bright conditions. And I thought it was through there, but maybe not. There's no other way to get... yeah. I think the cave entrances... okay, there it was. I think they form kind of randomly, like they can be in one spot if you're doing it in a playthrough and then another spot in a different one. Okay, yeah, right here. So this is the entrance we need to go to in order to find Groudon, alright? So that'll do it for this part. We now have 2 out of the 3 main legendaries in Hoenn. And so next part we're going to be going for the 3rd. So thank you guys so much for watching again. I hope what we were talking about earlier doesn't, deter from comments and, tips and instruction. I'm all for that. And I appreciate any love and support and whatever you put in there, but also, like I said, just look at it from a creator standpoint with some of the stuff that I've done in these playthroughs, alright? But anyway, let's move off of that. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time for more Pokemon Emerald post-game where we try to catch Groudon. Goodbye.